Are you there? That's Kuma, all the way from India. Professor Dr. TP Kuma, okay, you are here. The stage is yours now, sir. You have 10 minutes. Do not do like that.
Namaskaram. We are on the with the 21st DigiSkills, the International Human Rights, Peace and Anti-Corruption Foundation, hosting the SDG discussions. I must thank my sister Dr. Uchef for inviting me for this program. Thank you Naveenji and Pradeepji for hosting it. I wanted to speak on the general philosophy of SDG, but forcefully my sister wanted me to talk on SDG 9 because technical people always find putting them in some boxes. I am a technical person, basically a mathematician, so I love numbers. But of late I left my job from the Space Department of India. I have become more sustainable. The sustainable development, the universal agenda, the social, economic and environment dimensions. I was attending most of the lectures. If you look at number 4, education is covered maximum because generally blah 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 speakers are all from academics. And they find reasons for repeating the same thing because they have been repeating same thing on and off in their life. So it's not boring for them. I thought I will cover some of the targets of 9, but my brother Kali Charan has done it thoroughly. He is a professor, he is an associate professor in one of the colleges. I am not a professor. Never I became a professor. I became director of academic staff colleges. So I was teacher's teacher for most of the time. Telling teachers don't speak too much. That was my job. And we have 17 SDGs, 169 targets. It's very easy for everyone to speak about it. And unfortunately, we are talking about those goals and targets after 7 years of implementation. And we have another 8 more years to go. See the pathetic situation. The world is discussing about SDGs after 7 years of its existence. We are looking at what to be done. People keep talking about the centuries, 21st century. I am deadly against it because world runs much faster, not in centuries in this time. Because world is running very fast. So we should not talk about centuries. We should talk about decades. We should talk about every year, new things. UNDP came. Everybody has forgotten. Most of the, maybe 90% of the population in the world never heard about the UNDP. Therefore, in 2015, people started renaming it as SDG. And we are discussing it about after 7 years, almost 1 decade is over. We are in the 3rd decade of 21st century. I keep saying we are in 3, 2, 1 in the world. Many focuses. What is to be done? Poverty, hunger. Most of the problems are there, which are not yet solved. And we are talking about SDG 9, resilient infrastructure. When I was asking me to put from attendees to the speaker level, Naveenji answered saying that we had a lot of problems. I was so glad to listen to that. I wanted that message from Naveenji. And we are talking about in the SDG 9, resilient infrastructure. What is resilient? How are you able to troubleshoot as fast as you can? And we are not able to troubleshoot. We are not able to see pictures in front of us when we are talking, and we say it is a multimedia team has got a lot of facilities, but we are not able to use it. because we are not able to recover the problems and difficult conditions as fast as we can. If we are not able to do, think about 99% of the population who are not even connected to such facilities in the world. And we still keep talking about resilient infrastructure. Africa has problem, India has problem, most of the countries have problem. I heard from Zimbabwe, Kenya, Iran, all of them were connecting, and net problem, digital problem, internet problem, I understand. I was talking to some of the countries in Africa to talk to them on MOOC, massive open online courses. And when I called 40 people, only 2 people could join. The problem is the internet is so costly and they are so poor, they are not able to attend to schools, they are not able to get it. Naveen ji, we are living in a world where we are not able to connect. The so-called high level people are not able to connect. And Muttanaya is a good friend of mine from Indonesia. She talked about cyberology, digital vaccine, and you can imagine a place called Indonesia, Philippines, Egypt, Iran, India, forget about the people, because those who are able to connect, they are able to connect because they are in the city. But 99% of the people are not able to connect to internet. I am from a small village from Kerala. Now I am living in Hyderabad. I have not visited 2 years my village because I will not be able to get connected. There are no internet, no electricity most of the time. So we understand this is the situation in which we are talking about sustainable development. Whose sustainability? There are 2 movies which came last year, 2021. One is on cowspiracy, another one is on seaspiracy. If you don't understand the economics of the world, you can't understand how much rice costs when it comes on your plate. And we talk about environment. We talk about rationing. It's much more costlier than what you pay. The price is different, the cost is different. So SDG need to be understood in a sustainable way. Sustainability is how are you able to make it happen, not for us. Goal number 1 is end poverty. Unless we make it mechanized, we will not be able to produce large. Once we wanted to produce large, we use a lot of fertilizer. So we are actually hampering the health of the people. So the second goal, agriculture, and the first goal, end poverty. They are related. And when we talk about the well-being, the number 1, 2 is connected to the third one. When your food is proper, physically is taken care of, then only you can think about the brain, intellectual. First Madhya Pradesh has to be clean, then only Uttar Pradesh comes into brain. Right? And in between we have the heart, which makes us well-being, happy. How can you be happy when the stomach is not filled? How can you be happy when the intellect is not, brain is not connected? So I keep saying the Maslow's principle is the whole world. Physical, emotional, intellectual, then social. Then we can talk about how do I have concern with the people around the globe and all that. The gender equality and all is a bigger problem for people who have got food in their plate. If there is no food, then that is the first problem. So the water, sanitation, all these are big problems. But the energy concept, electricity is a big problem. Connectivity is a big problem. And we have to build that infrastructure where we are able to connect to everybody in the world. Now we are talking about 5G. Understand, the world is talking about 5G when 80% of the people are not even connected to 2G. This is the social environment in which we must discuss. Avidya, Bharatiya Shastram, the traditional Indian knowledge says, for us to maintain our life and get a job, we need what is called avidya. And savidya is what the humanity, wisdom which you want to share. That comes in the social aspect, 10, 11, 12, 13. All these goals, if you look at it, we say how do we become safe, how do we share, how do we combat the environment, all these need to be understood. When we promote the peace around, it gets to the highest level of spirituality. And if that cannot be understood, the Vasudeva Kudumbakam concept, Loga Samastha Sugino Bhavantu, the Bharatiya Shastram, the global partnership, the sustainable development in the true sense, totally inclusive. The inclusiveness is Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam. Everybody is my family. My sister from America, my sister from Africa, my sister from Zimbabwe. Everybody need to be connected, equally considered for sharing. So much of environment, so much of land resources, so much of wealthy land, but it is not being used for their life concerns and progressing, if you call it as becoming happier, for which I'm sure the SDG 9, which aims at building resilient infrastructure and promoting sustainable industrialization. The industrialization should not be to create something for the temporary, but for a longer term, and for which you need foster innovation. How do innovation happens? Only when the education becomes highly innovative. But today's education has become just for the brain mugging up and then putting. We need to revamp the whole system to understand, so that I'm sure the industrialization, the goal number 8 connected to goal number 9, goal number 2 connected to goal number 9, goal number 7 connected to goal number 9, and goal number 11 is also connected to goal number 9. So probably that is the reason my sister Dr. Uchi put me into goal number 9. So I'm so happy that I could make some sense of connecting them together and talking to you that we need a decent work. We need a reducing inequality. If that doesn't happen, the inclusiveness will not happen, and inclusiveness is what is required when we talk about the goal number 9. Thank you for hosting me, and thank you for considering, for putting me into goal number 9 and then making my points. Though Kali Charanji was describing the whole thing, I was wondering what should I speak, but immediately I could make something out of heaven. Thank you and pranams to each one of you.
Wow, thank you so much.
It's really amazing. It's really amazing.
Amazing. A drum roll for Prof. Thank you so much for that insightful analysis.
I hope
We
we are resilient for the goal number 7 or 9, whatever you talk.
Thank
We
you so
address the problem.
Thank you.
Okay.